would reband it. And that would be the Miss Roxy. So cute! Hey everyone, Ashley here, and we are doing the scroll frame video. So just to start as an example, I'm going to show you the frames I had before. Assembled, they look like this, and then, sorry, I'm trying to do this with the stand here. They use the little wing nuts. But basically what they are is like a split rail, so you have this long rod and it's got a split down the center all the way down to the other end. And basically you slip your fabric in there and position it, and then you take your sidebars and put them on the ends, and you tighten up this nut, which should prevent this from moving, but as you can see, even though this is as tight as I can get it, it still rotates. And that was the main issue with these, is since I have like 3 different frames, and I don't even know if they're all made by the same company or not. They were just the cheap frames that you could find in the craft stores for, I guess they're fairly cheap. I don't even remember how much I paid for them. You know, they work, but if you don't get the right combination of the rod and the sidebar, that happens. They're really loose. Also, and this, I thought this one was the one, but it's not. Also, I've noticed on some of these that they do not sit perfect like this. In general, basically I have one of these rods where this end here sits completely at an angle like this. So when you're trying to mount your fabric, it causes problems. Makes it even more difficult. And sometimes, especially with the shorter rods, it can be difficult getting your fabric in between there and kind of as far over as you can get it when you need the full length of the rod. So, you know, they work, but the other thing too is, especially with the longer ones, if say you're working on the top or the bottom of your piece, and if you don't have enough excess fabric to roll this up at least once, your fabric can and will start slipping back through. So that's the other flaw with these. Now, don't get me wrong, they do work fine, and they have worked, you know, for the most part all these years, but I was looking for something better, and I was looking into a Millennium Frame, and I know everybody that I've heard talk about the Millennium or seen talk about the Millennium, they absolutely love it, but I just could not. I just didn't want to spend that much money for one frame that I may or may not like. Not only that, but and correct me if I'm wrong, my understanding is that when you need to scroll it, you kind of have to take the frame apart to do so. And that it probably wouldn't have been an issue, but yeah, I wasn't too sure about that. And also, you know, I just wanted to be sure that if I was going to spend that much money on a frame, that, you know, I was going to be for sure that I wanted it. So when I was looking at floor stands and I looked at the Ergo, which I did purchase and I absolutely love, and I won't do a video on that, but I will put a link below to Stitching May's videos on the Ergo, because I think she did a really good job and there's just no reason for me to do it. I noticed that the company that made the Ergo, they also make their own scroll frames, and I got to looking at them and I actually really liked them. They have sort of the same concept as the Millennium as far as you know, how you attach your fabric, but other than that, it's a little different, and I think I really liked what I saw, and price wise I felt I was getting a little bit better not necessarily value. I'm not going to say that these are better than the Millennium, because I can't say that. I don't have a Millennium to give my honest opinion on that, but I think for the cost and what I got for these, I think it was a great value. So this is what the frames look like, and there you can see I have been working on the Once Upon a Time sampler. We're almost done with July, so hopefully we'll have that done by the end of this week. But here's what they kind of look like assembled, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to record this kind of upside down. Okay. And basically what it is you have these two scroll rods, and I'm just undoing these rubber bands, and they have this little recess inside, and then you have little screw pins on the ends here, and then this knob that's on the scroll rod, this is your scroll knob, I guess is what it's called. And the idea with this is for you to use to scroll your fabric when you're working on the piece, so that you're not having to touch your fabric. Okay. And then inside that recess is this, what looks like a super long popsicle stick. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to get it out, and this rubber band's holding it in there. So it's a thin piece of wood. And it literally looks like popsicle stick. And this is what you use to push your fabric into that little recess. Roxy, no. Come here. Come here. Sorry, my dog, she likes to burrow herself under blankets, and that's exactly what she's trying to do right now, right underneath the camera. So, yeah, that is how you attach the fabric to the scroll rod. So, and I didn't grab a piece. So let me grab one so I can try to show you, and we'll move Miss Roxy here over where she can get under some blankets. Again, I apologize. Okay. I think maybe she's happy. Okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this to show you. Okay. So basically what you end up doing is to attach your fabric, you can do it a couple different ways. You can lay it over top as even as you can, and then take the stick and lay it on top and gently just kind of push it in like so. And the more you do this, the easier it gets and the straighter, you know, your fabric starts to come out. I don't get it this perfect all the time, so that's pretty good. And then you pretty much roll it up to get it where you want it. The great thing about these two is as long as you've got enough fabric on the edge here, you can have it turned just a little bit, and just to show you, even having it turned just a little bit, and I'm going to tighten these so that this bar doesn't move. Oh, I did it the wrong way. Okay. You can pull on this fabric and it's not coming out. I don't know if you can see that. You can literally just tug on this fabric and it is not coming out of here at all. It will, of course, if you know, you have that recess facing the direction, it's obviously going to pull right out, but you don't have to have it, you know, rolled up very far. As long as it's rolled to the side, this piece of wood actually kind of turns inside of that recess and catches the fabric so it doesn't move. So that's really nice, actually. And I'm just gonna reattach this. The other way you could do this that I was doing too is you could, you know, kind of fold your fabric over, but I think it's way easier just to lay the fabric even and then evenly push it through. And then if it's, say, a little bit crooked, you can, if you're gentle enough, you can kind of hold that piece of wood in place and just kind of tug a little bit on your fabric to pull it out some, either side, and then straighten it out. And then if you still can't get it perfectly straight, which does happen, as you roll up your fabric, you can just kind of move the fabric to kind of sit straight as you roll it up, which does help. So, I apologize for this. Apparently I got some strings caught in here. Alright, so once you've got that part done, you basically scroll it to the point of where you want to stitch. And you're going to tighten one side, either the top or the bottom, it doesn't matter. So in this case, I'll do the bottom, which is the top for me. But so what you do is this, let me see, here we go. you take the scroll rod, or no, I'm sorry, on this first step, all you do is just tighten up the knobs on one side. Okay, like that, so it ain't moving. And then on the top, here we go. Sorry, I got a little backwards. On the top here, or bottom, whichever, and you didn't tighten, you take your scroll knob and you scroll it until it's tight. And you hold it in place. Hold it tight. And then you go to the opposite end and tighten the knob there. And then you go back and tighten the knob on the same side. Like that. Okay. And it stays, it's pretty drum, not super drum tight, but you know, it's pretty good. You can see my fingers. It's pretty tight. Tight enough for me anyway. This holds it a lot better than my other frames did. And then they recommend that if you're not using it, that you just loosen and relieve the tension. So I just loosen the top and unroll it a little bit and just leave it like that. And then when I'm ready to go again, I just repeat that last step of just rolling it back up and then tightening the knobs. They say that you can use embellishments and beads with this. All that you do, or the secret trick that they state on their website that they don't actually tell you, I had to ask them in an email. And it took 2 emails to do so, because I wasn't in a hurry, and I've heard that they're a little hard to get a hold of, but basically all it is you just, they told me you take a piece of felt and you roll it up. You'd like lay it on top of your beadwork and then like roll it with the felt in there, and that'll cushion your beads, and it'll also protect your rod, which is probably what you're gonna do anyway with any kind of a scroll frame if you're rolling up beads. I may test it out with the Mirabilia because there's a lot of beadwork on that. I won't do it with the size 6 beads or the bugle beads because they're the long, skinny, cylindrical ones, and I'm not sure if I trust rolling those up. The seed beads maybe I think would be okay, but we'll see. I might have to do a few test bead stitches and whatever, maybe roll it up, I don't know, maybe mount a piece of fabric and that I'm stitching on and just, I don't know, put some beads on the top that are not, that I can undo later, and roll it up and see how they fare. But you know, that's pretty much the gist of it. The only downside to these that I found was that, and they do state this on the site, whatever length of scroll rod you use, you really don't get the full length of the rod. I believe they measure from here to here, you know, the actual rod that you are rolling your fabric on. They say that you actually have 2 inches less than what the length of the rod is. So if it's, you know, 15 inches long, you can only hold fabric that is 13 inches wide. However, you can gain, they say, an inch back by cutting the corners of your fabric. So before you mount, if you have enough fabric on the side and on the top, you can cut the corners off so that the top and the bottom of your fabric can fit inside. Or if you have enough fabric, instead of cutting maybe at a diagonal, cutting the corners, maybe you can cut like a square or like a rectangle out. That would probably work better. Cut like a little rectangle out so that the top, you put it in there, and then when you roll it up, you got the full length. That's only if you have enough fabric, which most people don't usually measure for. And kits, that's a little hard to do because it's pre-done, and sometimes they don't give you a lot of extra fabric, which I find kind of stupid, but anyway. I've seen kits where they don't give you very much. So yeah, that's the only downside I could see. The pricing for these is really, I think, really good. They have different ways, or different options rather, that you can purchase these. They have where you can buy individual full frames. So you get, you know, you choose the length of the scroll rod that you want, and then you choose the length of the sidebar that you want. And they come with the knobs to attach them all together. And the pricing ranges based on what you choose. So the cheapest one is $30, and that's a 6x9 frame. And then it goes up in price, you know, usually the longer the scroll rod you go, it kind of like adds $1, or not even $1, like it's weird, because their 6x9 is $29.95, and then their 6x12 is $30.95. So yeah, it goes up like $1, it seems like, at first, and then it increases to like $2 and whatever. But so their smallest at 6x9 is $29.95, and then their largest is 10x30, and that one is $49.95. So I think they're pretty fair in price, considering that they're handmade and whatnot. They also offer these in pieces, so you can, if you've already bought a frame, for example, and you decide you want, or you get a project and you need a longer scroll bar, you can go to their site and buy just the length of the scroll bar that you need. You don't need to buy the sidebars or anything, and that can save you some money there. Or if you decide that your sidebars aren't long enough, you can, you know, buy another set of sidebars. Or if you need additional knobs, you can get new replacement knobs. And those prices vary, so that can save you money there. They only have 4 lengths of the sidebars, so I already have 3. And then, you know, so anyway, and then they offer what I decided to go with was one of their multi-size kits, and they have 3 of these. Their basic comes with 2 sets of sidebars, 6" and 8", and then it comes with 2 sets of the scroll rods, 12" and 18", and then 1 set of 4 knobs, so that you can have 1 complete frame, and that goes for like $54.95. And then the next one up is a deluxe, and all they do is they add a 24-inch scroll rod, and then an extra set of 4 knobs, so you can do 2 complete frames. And that goes for $83. And then the one I went with was the Master, and it came with the 3 sidebars, 6, 8, and 10 inch, and then it came with 5 of the scroll rods, 12, 15, 18, 21, and 24 inch. And then it came with 3 sets of the knobs. So I can have 3 of these frames completely assembled, but it gives me 15 different combinations as far as sizes, you know, frame sizes. So I thought that was a really good deal. That going with that saves you, it says an additional savings of $15, but I don't know. I might have to go and just out of curiosity add it all up to see what it would cost if I bought everything individually. I do plan on purchasing more from them. I want to get more knobs so that I can, you know, maybe get one more frame put together, but I also want to get the one set of sidebars that I don't have, which is the 12, no, the 12, or no, sidebar, yeah, 12-inch sidebars, just to have it, because I think, you know, it would be nice to see what, if I like the 12 or not. And then I just like the fact that I can go in, and if I only want the rods, I can buy just the rods. So I think it's a great deal. They do take forever to send them. I bought the stand separately and from these, and both the stand and the frames took at least 3 to 4 weeks for them to ship them out. I got the shipping information, I believe, at the end of the 3rd week for my stand, and I got the shipping notification for the frames within the 4th week. But I received everything, you know, at least by the end of the 4th week. So if you do plan on getting these, they do take some time. They do state that, you know, to expect 3 to 4 weeks to wait. I don't know if they actually look at the order, you know, for 3 to 4 weeks or not, because I also had ordered a light from them to go with my Ergo, and I ordered it, and the 4 weeks went by, and the 5th week I contacted them because I hadn't heard anything about it, and it was then that they informed me that they no longer carried the light, or that they were out of the light, and that it was not available for them to order from their distributor anymore. So I was a little disappointed with that. So, but as far as the frames go, they're pretty good on their word with that. So if you have any other questions for me about these that maybe I can answer that I didn't cover, which I think I covered everything, just let me know in the comments below. Again, I'll link the video, or I'll link, or put a link, put a link down below to Stitching May's video on the Ergo stand if you're interested in a stand. I absolutely love it. It's great, especially if you like to stitch in a recliner. It's highly recommended. I recommend it. It's worth the cost, in my opinion. compared to all the other stands that I've looked at. Also, I'll put a link below to the website for these, both the main page and one for their pricing, although they have a button on the main one for the pricing, but and order. And then that's it. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.